Greetings, Dr. Bryan K. Hotchkins, author of My Black is Exhausted, Forever in Pursuit of a Racist-Free World where hashtags don't exist. In writing my book, I want to make sure that I gave you concrete ways of being able to identify, mediate, and remove your racial exhaustion. One of those ways was by including an interlude, which is entitled How to Make Sense of Your Racial Exhaustion in an Unconcerned World. What we want to do is break down all the 10 sections of this interlude over the next 10 days. And hopefully you can take something that will help you be able to better navigate the geographies of racism and heal your trauma. Day number 1, Beyond Racism series. Number 10 on my interlude is this. It's not what they did or what they said, but why they felt that they could. Some of us work in environments, whether it is higher ed, K-12, government, municipality, nonprofit organization, where we often hear the subtleties of race and racism, right? And so although it's not blatant or specific, sometimes we have interactions and we leave those wondering, what did they mean, right? But we never reapproach them and say, why do you feel that you could do what you did, or why do you feel that you could say what you said in my presence, right? Here's an example. So Dan is a young salesperson in organization X, right? He leads in sales for 3 months in his organization. He's African American. He goes to his boss and says, you know what? I put the work in. I think it's time that I get a raise, right? His boss essentially responds to him, well, Dan, you still kind of new, but we love the flavor that you bring, right? We love your unique energy. We want you to be mindful that people like you don't often get opportunities like this. So be patient, right? And when the budgetary constraints flex a little bit, I may be able to give you that raise that you've been asking for, right? And so Dan may leave the interaction thinking, well, I may be new, that is true, but I have led in sales. But what does he mean by the flavor that I bring, right? And who is he referring to when he says people like me? What does that mean, right? And so the only way for him to know is for him to ask his boss. He has a decision to make, right? Is he going to hesitate and not ask because he's concerned about whether he'd be considered not a team player or a person that's confrontational, when he could ask his boss? And this is how I would do it. Boss, I want to talk to you for a second. I appreciate the fact that you believe in me and you see the value that I add to when I bring to the company. But I got a question. What do you mean by flavor? And what do you mean by people like me? Hesitate, be quiet, and listen to his response, right? Because you never know what people mean. You don't want to make assumptions, but you do want to allow them to tell you exactly who they are. And so this concludes day 1 of our 10-day interactive discussion about the interlude to My Black is Exhausted, Forever in Pursuit of a Racist-Free World where hashtags don't exist.